Hello, welcome guys, my name is Thomas and I'm feeling a little bit better, that's why I make this video. And this is about form testing or debugging a form or form exploration as you might call it. So what am I talking about? Well, first of all, as you can see on my screen, I've brought up a simple HTML page that is connected to a PHP script. I will show the code later on. And what we can fill out here is a first name and a nickname, and I will be doing that just about now. And then we click on send, and you will see that my PHP script returns me all my post data. So you can see name is Thomas and nick is Tom. So how does the script get this information? I will show you that in a second, but before that I want to show you my HTML code. First of all, this is just your simple HTML pages as you would normally have it, a little bit styled, not too much of course, as this is just a demo. And yes, I know tables are outdated, but I use it in this example because it was easier for me to do that right now. And as you can see, here we have a form with the method being post and an action being on test.php. Then we have a first name which also has an input named name and a nickname, and where the input is named Nick. And that's what the script is going to be getting, right? And it also works with get data, so I will be changing this method here to get. We'll save that and then we will switch over, go back and send again. Probably refresh the page first because of the page cache. There we go. Bam, get data. Okay, so how do we program this? It's very easy and you can be doing this in about 35 lines of code. If you want to be really messy or really tidy, depends on how you do it. I think you can be even doing it in 25 lines of code. So let's get started. Okay, I've emptied my file and as you can see, if I refresh here, everything's gone, right? So first of all, we need to know what we're doing. First of all, we need to talk about get and post. Get and post are two different methods of sending data in a form to your script or, well, to any other programmable interface, let me call it like that. And we can use get and post. There are more than that. I think there's set and delete or destroy, but I don't know much about that. The most important ones are get and post. And get is basically when you see data in your URL line like this, and post is when you have data that is submitted over basically your HTTP channel, but without you seeing it in the URL line. Sounds complicated, but isn't. Just imagine your favorite website where you need to log in. YouTube is a great example for that. And when you log in and hit the login button, you won't see the username and password in the URL line. That's when they use post, or when anybody would use post, to be honest. And yeah, this script also works with post usually, and it can also work with get, of course. And well, how do we treat those two methods? How do we get values from those methods in PHP? That's very easy. I think you should have seen my debugging video in PHP. If you haven't done so, I will link it right here and you can watch it. But if you have, we do have two arrays in PHP that will automatically populate for us. And to get those, I will use var dump right now. And the arrays are called get and of course post. And yeah, don't forget the basically the underline right here. So we want to of course again work in pre-tags. Why that is? Because of formatting issues that we will be getting if we won't do it. And if you haven't seen the debugging video already and you're still wondering what this is, I still encourage you to basically go ahead and watch the debugging video. What am I doing right here is basically I go ahead and I build with echo a string that, yeah, we will look at that right now. Okay, so we click on refresh and you will see that of course, because the method of the form was get before and we have data in our get line, we have the get array which is filled with name equals to Thomas, can be represented very quick here. And of course, so Nick set to Tom. That's it. And what you need to keep in mind is if a value is empty and just set, it will also be set, right? Like if I would say and Nick, you will see Nick is still set and it's a string, but it's null, so there's nothing in it. And yeah, so that's basically it on how we're going on what we're doing. We're basically pulling stuff out of these two arrays, but how are we going to do that? How are we going to format this all? And how will it work? Well, that's basically very easy. First of all, we need to have some checks. For example, if either one of those arrays is filled or not. So if either the get array is not an empty array, oh god, array, or if the post array is not an empty array. Oh my god, I'm so bad at typing today. There we go. To change this, then we can work on and we can echo out stuff. If not, we will simply print an error that says basically no data has been submitted, and that's it. Okay, so now whenever we call the script with no either get or post arguments, we will get this error. There we go, no data has been submitted. On the other hand, if we submit form data, we should get nothing right now. There we go. And now what we can do is we can work with for each like I did in the debug video, and we can basically go through. So before we do that, I would check if either one of those applies and then echo stuff out. So we have this if statement that basically tells it to do stuff if the get array is not an empty array. Here we go. And then we run a for each on those. For each get as key value pair. Oops. And yeah, what we can now do is we can say echo key colon value. There we go. And of course, because I like nice and clean formatting, I would like to have the key printed bold, and I would also like to have a break after that, so that when other keys follows, we don't have this single line thing. And that's basically it, because now we only have get, and that's it. Bam baby. And another neat thing would be to echo out before we actually go into the loop that this is the get data h2. And yeah, we just save that up and bam, nice little formatting. What's not so nice is that if we have empty values, it will basically echo nothing. Wouldn't it be nice to check if it is populated or not? Yeah, it would. So what we can do is we can say if value is not empty. It's a nice PHP function and it works really well. And yeah, so if it's not empty, we will echo out this. And if not, we can do something else. But what I will do in this example is I will say if it is empty, then we will say that value equals to, and then in italics, not populated. How nice is that? If we now refresh the page, you will see that it states not populated. It's very cool, isn't it? So now you might ask how we do the same thing for post. Well, I could type this out a second time, or we could actually go ahead and be just copy and pasting this, change the method to post, change the heading, and that's it. So how can we make sure this works? Well, make sure that the script still works and there are no basically running runtime failures. Then we can basically go back to our little nice form. And now what we can do is we can change the method to post, which is already. Enter in our data, hit send, and boom, we will see we've submitted post data. We have name, we have nick. If we don't have the nick, for example, We'll send. That's it. Of course, if both data are blank, send, not populated. This is just a nice little snippet you can use on every project you have, or if you're building a design or something like that for someone. You don't even, well, it would be better to understand this, but let's say you're just a designer and you quickly want to test a form, an HTML form, if all the keys and values match up how the programmer wants it to be. Well, great. You can use this little script, run it, copy and paste it just like I have it here, use it in your projects, upload it to a server, reference to it, and yeah, that's it. So I hope you had kind of fun with this little video, and I do hope this helped you out in a situation where you want to test an HTML form. And yeah, so thank you for watching this. As I said, tons already, and see you in another video. Goodbye.